This is Just Amazon on Wednesday, August 8th, 2018. And we've got a little bit of a pullback pre-market. Have a nice little curve here. Looks like an S curve. That this could be a point of buying it. This values in here, kind of this pre-market base is around the pivot here and here, and then a breakout here. That may be enough for this level to hold, or may not. Have a little bit of a triangle here, so retest into this value, into the 1855 price. That could be a good place for this to hold back to if it can hold that, or it could come further back a little bit lower, 1852.50, or even around 1846. Any of these values could be pullback locations. We had a bullish candle yesterday. We're gapping slightly down into that candle, so not really trapping anybody, like I talked about the possibility of having a move with a gap up, but definitely seeing a little bit more of a distribution play out up here, and we'll see how the day opens. First 5-minute candle actually sold off pretty quickly. I glanced over at the 1 minute at the open and saw I think it was a really small candle here for the first minute, and then I think a bearish candle that was small, and then this was like the third minute. So it's possible somebody made a quick gain, selling that back down into the 1855 price, into this triangle, and then it got bought back up, and you're back above that pre-market support. And it's not too far away, back up to this previous pivot. And we'll see how we interact with that, if that's where we head. And we actually get through it pretty quickly, the very next 5-minute candle. And just like yesterday, we saw things break out, pause and pull back, break out, pull back. We're going to see a pullback into this level, and that'd be a good place to consider buying. Or I guess I would say maybe a breakout above this, but we don't really like taking the breakout. We want to see a breakout and then pull back and hold, the 1870 price. So that would be the next entry if it continues up, for it to pull back into 1870. But also, if it gets below this line, similar to yesterday, breaking down below it, again, it could come back a little bit further. So a really nice strong candle there breaking out. Again, a really nice inside candle that's holding this support, and you could have been buying here with a stop probably below yesterday's closing prices, candles, maybe 1860. So buying with around a $4 risk, 1864 by 1860, $4 risk, and we'll take a look at the options to show where this could have been at. And here, oops, meant to do this arrow. The very next candle breaks out above that, pausing right around the highs from yesterday, pulling back, and has a bit of a flag here. Pulls back almost to this level, but again, this would have been a great place to had you missed getting in here, looking for an entry within this candle, could have gotten it on any of these last 3 candle lows, with a stop below it, or a stop down 1860 again. So this could have been a $5 risk. 1R would be back at the high, obviously 2R, $10 above the entry here. So you're around 1875, which is still below the all-time high. So it's possible. I was about to click the wrong arrow again. So moving forward, we've got this hammerish candle here, similar highs. Let's see, what is this? The highs are 5 cents off from each other. This is starting to break out from that level. We still have this level to contend with, but we break out through it, pull back into it. This is exactly what we just talked about. Broke out, broke above this level. I'm going to see a pullback and see that 1870 range hold. And can't say that it's holding yet, but it pulled back into it. But it definitely held there. So it pulled back, and it just starts to drift higher. There's a number of places to get in on this, whether it was here, 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 and not another one really yet. But it is continuing higher. It's just going. And then this candle actually breaks out. This is not the all-time high. It's a stone's throw away here. This level, I'll show you on the daily, is actually the open on this price. And I'll explain why after we cover the day, why I picked the open rather than the high. But basically the general rule is the open of a large bearish candle can act as strong resistance. And happened here as well. This candle back on 427. It's very similar price to the open of this candle that pretty much trapped any more bears in this area and just ran. The candles in here, I'd have to go look back at to see. I don't have as many drawn in. Mostly I've gone with closes on bullish candles, but opens of bearish candles also work as well. Opens of bullish candles work too. But we tend to use the closing price on those. So let's jump back into the 5-minute. Seeing this break out, we want to see another pullback into that price and then a bounce. In this case, it's just going to continue breaking out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 45 minutes of buying bullish candles until we finally get the bearish candle. And this is where, for some reason, there's some people selling, maybe with the reason that this has to go down. It can't continue going up. But it did actually make a new all-time high on the daily with this move here. On the 5-minute, I believe we were at 1896. I think we just looked at that the other day. So we're still underneath that level. So we get a bit of a stair step. 15 minutes of just sideways. A great pause if you were the ones buying the breakout, looking for a breakout to buy. You're at an all-time high. Don't be that guy. Another 5 minutes, 20 minutes now of sideways. Okay, there you go. Starting to break down a little bit. How far is this going to pull back? Oh, that was it. It just did this, broke down, retested back to the breakdown, but pushed right back up to the same level. So this is starting to look like a double top instead, which is a great indication that if you are still in bullish and you weren't stopped out here, get your stop right there or look to exit in here. Because, look how far it moved. This little, bearish trap here could continue up. Okay, it looks like it's not continuing up. Get your stop right here. Even in this candle, get your stop right here. 18, 81, 82, something like that. You're already up 3 plus R, maybe even 4. Had you gotten in way down here, it's possible. Or with options, could be even better than that. And I'll show you that. So there's your breakdown of the double top. Comes all the way back down right into this level. The low here is 1878.11, and this candle with that open was 1876.05. Actually, I think I read this wrong. Sorry, 1876 on the dot. And this candle was 1876.05. So that, again, came from the open of this candle, and it becomes very relevant today. From this level up to this level, basically, let's pick this candle, this hammer candle to this inverse hammer candle. That's about midway, from here to here. So you have similar candles at at either end of this range, and this is about 50%. It's a great place for it to pull back. So I'm just saying that's a key value, but what other rhyme or reason could you be using for that? If you look back at maybe this kind of a triangle, broke out, retested, continued higher. It's about another move from this same breakout from here to here. It's done that from here to here, but double. Now it's pulling back, maybe to a percentage similar to a fib. And I haven't measured that to see, but it's something to evaluate and see if that's really where it's at. So on this candle now, if you're still in this, if you're trailing a looser stop, this is a great place for it to continue. If you take out this low, that means something's changed on the 5 minute. It could pull back a little bit more, but it actually does bounce here and go sideways for a while. So I'm just kind of skimming through this. You could say this looks like a double top, but it just never continues lower. It's actually making a much longer triangle here and not moving very far. So it's starting to make some higher highs. There you go. So here you have a relative high or similar high here, and then a higher high here, and just a lot of sideways activity. A false breakdown, bounces, new all-time high again on the daily, and we can end up going up into 1891.51. Is that right? 1891.51. So we're still a few dollars away from the all-time high. Not looking at the daily, looking at the 5 minute. On the daily, we're there. And so I wasn't trying to be too secretive here, but I did hide the candle. We have a second squeeze, but looking at this candle, a slight gap down and rally is similar, I think, to some of these in here where we had a bullish day, gap down, and basically did a retest and then rallied. In this case, it didn't get to an all-time high, nor did the next one, but actually maybe this next one did. 46.33. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. I just jumped and I missed where it was at. Okay. There to there. 46.3. Why am I reading wrong? Sorry. My mind is trying to get around why I'm reading the wrong value. The high there is 1838. Is it really that far off? This seemed a lot closer. Okay. Anyway, it looks like that's a similar amount that we're up over this candle here. So I'm just comparing back to the left to see what it's done. Could do it again, but watch out for things that are changing. So come back into the 5 minute. Let's say you had a stop. I'm sorry. Let's say you had an entry on this line, the stop down below it. If you're buying calls on the low here, let's say the closing price of the option at the 840 candle. So in this case, 840 candle is right here. The low is 1990. The close is 2006. That's the value you could have been buying right around 20 bucks and stop at 19, and that would have just worked. Also, had you had a standing order from yesterday's value of the calls and bought off of that same value for around 15, because the low here was 14.75. So this easily could have been traded at 15, just like yesterday, and would have worked phenomenally, just trailing a stop, and probably, possibly gone from 15 up to 40. Let's just say 35. From 15 to 35, that's 20 R on that kind of a move. That's massive. And I don't want to say it's predictable. It does very much align with a support line on the option. And knowing that, okay, this looks really strongly bullish. We're trapping more people here. We're trapping these people here. Get in bullish. Or even if you didn't get in there, you wait till the 9 o'clock candle. And that 9 o'clock candle is already way up here. So that price is already a few dollars away from the low that I would want. And so you're either risking more, which is a no-no. You don't want to change a risk value. But it's also making it so that it must continue higher aggressively for the trade to work. And that is not necessarily something that you want to plan for. It is something to consider if you want these massive gains less often. based on how it trades. And so obviously there's, that's what I'm looking for. This is just an AMZN. So I'm looking at it here. This breakout and pullback, buying here, could have bought down here, there's so many places. And then up here, having so many bearish candles in a row was it. That was all the sell-off, really. Just some chop in here, but nothing that really pressured it. And so if we look back at the daily, we have a slight gap down. That doesn't help us. Looking at this, got some selling here into a support area, some selling here into support area. Another thing I think of is to look at the puts in this area. If we know this is starting to form a double top, go look at puts, and the puts in that area are pretty much sideways here. Obviously, again, you would have had to have a wider range, maybe 750 by 650, something like that for this, and then flip that out at 650 to 950. That's 3R. Even to 10, I don't know, maybe no, a little bit close to 1050. But anyway, you're we're looking for the puts to come back down to this value. So if you're looking at that value, that's on this candle. So that is the 940 candle. We come back to the option to see, okay, at 940, where are we at? Wow, we lost a lot of premium. At 940, that's way too large to risk. It's on its way down. I'm not going to be that guy catching a falling knife, that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is just an AMZN, and we will continue to track what AMZN is doing. Thanks.